sails and sailors began to sing. The all flag.
I appear to be having a microphone issue. Why? Let's try turning it off and on again. Let's see if I can turn the mic up any further. Is that any better? Can you hear me any better now? Because I've just done a massive spiel and not got anywhere. Right, I've turned it up to max now. Oh no! Don't understand why my microphone is not working very well. Talking to myself. Okay, is that better, worse? Can you hear me at all? Technical difficulties. Ah, you can hear me. Fabulous. Right, so I've just been talking to myself for the past 5 minutes. So, good evening. We are going to carry on this new character where we left off last time. So we left off in Necrom. But when I went to the crafting hall in Necrom, I couldn't find the quests to start the crafting writs, so I have moved to High Isle, which was the DLC before this one. So everyone with ESO Plus should be able to get to High Isle now. It's where I do my normal crafting writs anyway. So the plan for today is to get you all started with the crafting writs, the Mages Guild questline, the Fighters Guild questline, the Scrying and Antiquities questlines, and then I was hoping to pop and try and start the Dark Brotherhood questline and the Sigic Order one. But those last two, we'll just see if we've got time for me to just point out where you can start those. So a tip that I was saying was I recommend getting in rooms in as many places as you can, because traveling to an in room or outside a house is free, whereas if you travel to a way shrine from anywhere other than another way shrine, it is going to cost you money, and depending on when the last time you teleported was, it will cost you more money, and it doesn't go down to zero. There's always a cost. So the more houses you have dotted around the map, the cheaper it's going to be for you to travel around. And the in rooms are quite cheap. I think they're about 5,000 gold. So I recommend just getting as many of those cheap ones as you can. Then you can teleport to free to whatever region that is. Find your closest way shrine and then pop to wherever you want to go. It is exciting, I know. Right, I'm just going to discover this one. And then we will make our way to the crafting hall and hope that we're not too new a character to be able to start these. Oh, I think we're too new. That might be the problem. We might have to continue questing for a little bit, and then come back to starting that, because we are babies. So if we go back to Necrom and carry on with that quest line, and then when we level up a little bit, we'll do all those things that I mentioned. Yes, 5,000 gold is cheap. Some of the houses are like 1 million. It gets wild how much they cost. Right, so this is explaining about the fast travel network, and you can recall to any previously discovered way shrine for a small fee, which is what I was saying, but in a better way. So Necrom is over here in this corner. So if we head back to the centre of Necrom, where we left off last time, we can go to the way shrine for free because we're travelling from a way shrine, which is handy. And then let's see if we can level up a little bit. Then we can get some other things done. Right. Let's see. So we can get started with the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild quest lines by the look of this. It does require me to be able to find them though, because I still get lost in Necrom. I don't know why. It's just really confusing to me. Okay, so if you look on the map, Mages Guilds have this symbol, which I'm not even going to try and describe. But that's a symbol for the Mages Guild. So we are going to head there. Why are you asking me to do that? I know why you're asking me to do that. Because if you can see on the bottom of the screen, my character is called Fufufufuff, because it greatly amuses me to say it. So that's why I've called this character that. I need to turn off those notifications still because they're going to drive me mad. Okay, so we found the Mages Guild, and all you need to do to start the quest line is talk to the Magister outside the Mages Guild, and they will give you a little bit of a talk.
Yes, of course. We're lawkeepers across the face of Tamriel. Guild members seek out books, tomes, and ancient scrolls in their travels. Why don't you speak with me for a moment? Perhaps you'd like to join.
And we do want to join.
With another knowledge seeker, Guildmaster Vanus will be pleased.
So then we can ask more about the Mages Guild if we don't know anything about it.
And make copies for distribution across Tamriel.
It's just books. Everybody loves books.
Boundaries, just knowledge and the acquisition of new tomes.
I mean, most characters can do magic, so I wouldn't say wizard is the right word. Just a magicka user. But this class is a stamina build that I'm doing. So we're not really using magic. We're using stam magic. Please don't ask me to explain the difference between magic and stamina magic. Because I don't know. But I do recommend being in the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild and all of the ones that you can find, because they have even if you don't use the skills in there, they've all got very useful passives, which, as I said in my last stream on this character, passives are the ones that are just passive. Literally what it says on the tin. But you don't have to have them equipped anywhere. And as soon as you learn that skill, you get the benefits of that skill. And you don't have to equip them on your bar. You don't have to press any buttons. You just get them as a matter of course. And in the Mages Guild, there's a really useful passive where you get Persuasive Will. So some of the quests, you get options to try and skip some of the quest by being persuasive, or you can intimidate NPCs, and you get that through the Fighters Guild passives. So I do recommend at least trying to get those, because it is going to save you time in the long run, and you'll still get the same amount of experience for those quests. So that is another little tip. Right, so what do we get in return?
Abilities only available to members. And from time to time, projects crop up for those with an adventuresome spirit. You may end up working with the guildmaster himself.
So as well as the skill line that you're going to unlock with this, there's also a quest line, so a story line of the Mages Guild and of the Fighters Guild, which I do recommend doing as well, because they're interesting, and you get access to a couple more places that you'll need access to, just so you can unlock more areas of the map. We'll get there eventually, but this is just starting everything off. So let's ask about the Guildmaster.
One of the founding members of this august body still holds the proud title of Guildmaster, overseeing every guild hall in Tamriel. He works with other ranking members, such as Tellinger, the Artificer, to ensure our future success. We are neutral in the war between the three alliances. When we're on guild business, we kneel to no king or queen. That's why you'll see members of every race in our halls.
So if you're new to the game, there is 3 alliances across the map, and each of those alliances have different races within those, and they're sort of clustered together in different places of the map. And one of the overarching themes is, yeah, they do hate each other. One of the overarching themes is that they're all at war with each other, because they're all trying to rule Tamriel, which is the world, as a whole. They don't want to be 3 separate places. They want to be the one person that rules it. And the PvP area, well, one of them anyway, Cyrodiil, that's sort of in the middle of the map, and that's where the war is sort of mainly based. So if you go into the PvP area, it does matter what alliance you're in, and then you go and capture keeps and towers, and you can fight people from other alliances, and you can get the Elder Scrolls, but that's where a lot of the fighting is based. So that's one of the overarching themes in the game. So the 3 alliances are the Aldmeri Dominion, which are High Elves, Khajiit, and Wood Elves. Then there's the Daggerfall Covenant, which are Orcs, Bretons, and Redguards. Sorry, I'm trying to pluck these from the back of my brain here. And the Ebonheart Pact, which are Dark Elves, the Argonians, and the Nords. And then there is another race, which is Imperial, and they're sort of more based in the centre of the map. And I think if you've got ESO Plus, you can get that race, and then you can choose sort of what alliance you want to be in with that character, I think. Don't quote me on the Imperial one, but the others are definitely correct. So I'm an orc, so I'm in the Daggerfall Covenant. Yeah. So that's why we asked about the Aldmeri Dominion, because this guy is a high elf, which you can tell by sort of the colouring that they have. And they're normally quite tall, the high elves. So the high elves tend to have this goldeny type skin, and their ears are a little bit more pointy than the wood elves and the dark elves. And their eyes are like a goldeny yellow colour a lot of the time as well. Anyway, I've gone slightly off topic here. Let's join the Mages Guild.
You are now a student of the Mages Guild.
And it's as easy as that.
Will now earn you reputation.
You just need to find the Mages Guild in whatever city you're in. It has to be a big enough city to have a Mages Guild, so not just like a little village or little town in the map. It's got to be the main area, really. And then you go to the Mages Guild and there'll be someone outside with the quest. I think it's normally him. And there we go. We've unlocked the Mages Guild skill line. So on your travels around the map, you can see, as I was saying in my first stream, read as many bookshelves and books as you find, but you'll also see books that have like a gold shimmer around them, and they're books that you've not read before, so always try and read them. And then there's some with like a purpley blue little shimmer around them, and they're the ones for the Mages Guild. So if you read those, you're going to increase your experience in the Mages Guild. So if you see one, definitely 100% read one. And also when you open your map, you can see on the left the map completion. So if we just go into the details of the map, we can see all the things that we can unlock. So these are the zone story quests. So that's, we started doing that one, the first one, Fate's Proxy, and these will obviously unlock in that order. Then these are all the way shrines that we can discover. Some of these are in Necrom, or Apocrypha, sorry. Some of these are in Apocrypha, which is the other area of the map that we can go to. And some of them are in this part of the map, the Telvanni Peninsula. Right, the reason why mine says I've done all 6 delves is because I have got other characters and they've unlocked those. I've unlocked those on another character. So that's why it's saying, but we'll do all of them still because we need to do the quests for them. Points of interest. Normally these are ones that have their own like mini quests for the area. And if we just cycle that, these are all the areas that have got their own little mini sort of quest line. Striking locales, they're just nice places or things that are interesting to go and see. When you discover those and you discover the way shrines, you can get the antiquity lead for like the maps of the area, but we'll go more into the scrying and antiquities a little later on in this stream. Set stations, I think I explained these a little bit last time, where each of those has got a armor and weapon. I'm trying to think of the right word, not type, but like set is the word I want. Each of those has got its own type of set, and I think there's 70 plus different types in the whole game, so there is a lot, but each area of the map tends to have like 3 of them in it, depending on the size of the area. I think there's more than 3 in Cyrodiil, but I couldn't confirm that 100%. Public dungeons, so These are essentially dungeons that you don't have to queue for. They're just ones that you can go into, a bit like the delves. But some of the bosses require a little bit more killing than the boss in the delves. So it does recommend that you go in with other people, but depending on, you know, which area of the map that you're in, so any of the base game areas, their bosses are a lot easier to kill than the DLC areas. So once you get up to a high enough level and have enough damage, you can solo a public dungeon. Maybe not in some of the DLC areas. It depends on your character and how you play it. Like a healer would struggle in some of the DLC areas, but definitely some of the base game areas you'll be able to solo those. So don't worry about trying to find a group if you're struggling or you don't want to play with other people. World bosses, again, these are big bosses around the map, and you will need help with the ones in the DLC areas. They are difficult, very difficult. So you will need help to be able to kill some of these world bosses in the DLC areas. And you can get daily quests for them, which sort of increases the number of people that are going to be at the world bosses, which helps ensure that there is always sort of someone there to help you, depending on how popular that area is. Once you start to get more end game, you can kill some of the world bosses in the base game areas, probably yourself. But DLC areas, you can give it a go, but I definitely would suggest that you might need a little bit of help. But normally if you hang about that area, someone comes along, or you can put in zone chat that you need a hand, because lots of people do help out, which is really nice. Sky shards. So we spoke about sky shards last time. If you get 3 sky shards, you get a skill point. So collect as many sky shards as you can. These give a little bit of a clue as to where they are. Unhelpfully, even though it says on the left I've got 1 out of 18 in this area, all of mine are ticked because one of my other characters has discovered them. So I couldn't tell you which one of those is the one I've got. So that's going to be fun, try to get the rest of those. But I'll pull up a map from Google and we'll be able to go around them. We might do that and the way shrines next stream, actually. I think that would be really useful to try and get the way shrines, the striking locales, and some of the sky shards that you don't have to go in the delves or the public dungeons for. So we'll do that on the next stream. And the point of showing you this was to come into the book section. So the Shalador's library books, and they're the ones with the purpley glow that I was talking about. And when you discover these and read these, your Mage's Guild rank will increase. The plan is to eventually play this character from start to finish, because I want to give tutorials of every part of the game where I can, because a lot of this information isn't really given to people, and you sort of have to muddle through it yourself. And I know a lot of things I didn't discover until I started playing with other people. So I think it's really useful to be able to have those tutorials available, so you don't have to try and work everything out yourself or be missing sort of key points. So yeah, we're going to try and do it, but that's going to take a long time, because it took me probably at least a year for my main character to do everything. So it's going to take us a while, but we'll get there, I'm sure. So we'll do Necrom and then we'll actually start the Daggerfall Covenant. It will take ages, yeah. There is a lot of the game, which is fantastic because there's so much to do. But obviously, yes, it's going to take us a long time to be able to do everything. So the plan is to do Necrom, because obviously this is the newest area and people are still playing this area a lot and quite excited about it. But then, because my character is in the Daggerfall Covenant, after this we'll go and start the Daggerfall Covenant questline, and that takes us through all the zone quests through the whole of the Daggerfall Covenant, and also we'll start to encounter the main quest line soon as well. So we'll do that as and when it comes up. But yeah, so these are the books. And when you discover these, your Mages Guild experience increases. Right. Got sidetracked there, but I think that was useful. Now we'll do the same for the Fighters Guild, which is helpfully just down here, very close to the Mages Guild. And again, there is a man outside waiting for us. So we just talk to him.
Welcome to our hall. Are you familiar with the guild? The Fighters Guild. You should consider joining up. We have a new guild master and a new singular purpose. Why don't we?
It does look a bit like a bouncer.
I know we'll all be drawing blades together.
That's the Fighters Guild for you.
Now, what can I tell you?
Singular purpose.
Our new guild master is an Argonian, sees all colors. She has us all hunting down the Daedra and their damned anchors. You might have seen them. Enormous chains, plagues of Daedra boil out to lay waste to the countryside. Hard fights.
Again, we're going to ask what do I get in return.
Good question. We train our members in special techniques, and the higher-ups are always looking for motivated members to help with special projects. You never know, you might be the next Yofnir.
So, depending on what class you are and what build you're going to use, people do use skills of the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild. So on my main character, I'm using the Mages Guild Ultimate at the moment. So it is a good idea to try and advance through these. And I know there's some builds that use at least one of the skills in the Fighters Guild questline. So definitely do them. I definitely recommend trying to do everything you can in the game. But you will encounter some builds, or a lot of builds possibly, that do have skills from the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild. So that was just a little aside.
Guildmaster Yofnir passed away recently, very suddenly. I always thought he'd die with a blade in his hand. But he passed away in his sleep, called to Sovngarde by his ancestors. We all miss him, but Colors has proven to be a very able leader.
And again, this is the question of you're not part of the Aldmeri Dominion military.
No, we only draw blades in service to the guild. We're technically neutral in the war between the three alliances. We love the Eagle Banner and Her Majesty, of course. But every race, every creed belongs under the guild hall's roof.
Okay, we are ready to join the Fighters Guild.
Let me be the first to officially welcome you as an associate of the Fighters Guild. Get out there and take the fight to the Daedra.
So, helpfully, the way to increase your experience in the Fighters Guild is just to kill things. So that one's really handy. Oh, lots of increases to skill lines here. Fighters Guild gained. Oh, see, this is one of these books I was saying, with this purple glow around it. So if we just read that, we get lore book discovered. And then if we go into our map now, we've got one of those 10 that are in this area. And you can see we've got some Mages Guild experience bottom left there. That was quite fortuitous. Right. Because we're not a high enough level to do the crafting yet, we are going to go start the Scrying and the Antiquities. So to do this, we're going to have to go to Skyrim, because that's the only place you can start it. But don't worry, because that's available in the base game. Right, so Skyrim is up here. So I'm going to show you where each of the 3 alliances is based and talk a little bit about the Tamriel map. Why are we kidding mages? What's wrong with the mages? So the Daggerfall Covenant is based in this top left corner. So we've got Glenumbra, which are Bretons, Rivenspear, more Bretons, Stormhaven is more Bretons, lots of Bretons. Hrothgar is where the orcs are. We've got Bankarai, which is again Bretons, and then the Red Guard are here in the Alaka Desert. Skyrim isn't part of the Daggerfall Covenant, it's separate, and then this little one here is the Reach, which was part of the Skyrim DLC, and that's sort of separate. And then bottom left is the Aldmeri Dominion. So Somerset is a DLC area, High Isle here is a DLC area, but the main bits are Oridon, which is High Elf, Greenshade, Wood Elves, Gratwood is Wood Elves, Malleable Tor, you get Khajiits, and Reaper's March, you get Khajiits. And then these bits here are the 2 halves of Elsewhere, which is one of the DLCs, and that's Khajiits. Then this is Blackwood. Blackwood is a mix of different races really, and that's one of the DLC areas too. Down here is Merkmere, which is Argonians. Again, that's a DLC. Why is Skyrim small? Because I guess that's how big it is in relation to the other areas of the world. I know the Skyrim game was massive, but I guess in relation to other areas of Tamriel, it's meant to be of a similar size. Who would have thought? And this top right corner is the Evanhart Pact. So this is Vardenfell, which used to be a DLC area, but now it's been moved to a base game area. So everyone will have access to that, even if you've not got ESO+. Here in Stone Falls and Deshan, we've got Dark Elves. Dark Elves are also in Vardenfell. Here in Shadowfen, we've got some Argonians. And then up here, we've got the Rift and Eastmarch, which were probably part of the Skyrim map. I think they would have been included in the Skyrim game, as well as this bit in the middle. But they're Nords there. And the bit we're in is here, the Telvanni Peninsula, because this is Dark Elves as well. So this bit in the middle, Cyrodiil, this is the main PvP area, where you're fighting the Three Banners War. And then there's another PvP area sort of in the middle, which is the Imperial City, which you can go into. And then this is Craglawn, and this is where things are a bit harder than other areas of the map. So a lot of them you do need sort of help with. To do some of the things in that area of the map, it is a bit harder. And it's not included in the 3 different packs. So if we go out from that, we get a picture of the whole world, because there's other places you can go to as well. Yes, we do need our own gear to do PvP. And it's entirely different to the gear that you're going to need to do PvE, unfortunately. So you're going to need 2 sets if you want to do both. I'm not an expert in PvP, but yeah, you will need a separate build to be able to do it, which is where the armory assistant and the different armory builds I spoke about last time comes in really handily, because you can have a build set up for PvP, and then you can have a build set up for your PvE, and then you can swap whenever you need to, really easily, without having to actually manually swap, manually change all your skills, you know, all of the things that you'd have to manually change, and then no doubt you'd forget what skills you had on the other build. So the armory assistant is really helpful. Okay, so we've zoomed out. So up here is the other area of this DLC that we're in now. So if we go into here, this is the map of Apocrypha, which is quite a cool place. We will go there soon enough. So this is Cold Harbour, which is separate to Tamriel because it's on a different plane of existence. That's where the big bad of the game, Molag Bal, is, and there's a lot of Daedra there, so the main sort of enemies you find in the game. So you be able to go there as you progress through the main quest line. So here is Clockwork City, which is one of the DLCs, which is also sort of on another plane of existence. Fargrave is another area which I think was, trying to work out which DLC that was part of. Deadlands. I think it was the Blackwood one. My brain just doesn't want to function. And then the Deadlands is where Fargrave leads to, which is another plane of nastiness. And then up here is Artaeum, which you get to through the Sigic Order quest line, because that's where the Sigic mages live. And that quest line you get through the Somerset DLC. Right, so what were we doing? We were going to Skyrim, that's what we were doing. So helpfully, we've always got one way shrine unlocked in whatever area of the map we're going to. And because I'm at a way shrine, I can just travel to this way shrine in the middle of the main city in Skyrim for free. So going back to the why is Skyrim so small, this is only Western Skyrim. So it's only a part of it. It's not the whole of Skyrim. So hopefully that answers it a little bit. Right. Let's go to the way shrine. So we're just outside of Skyrim. We're at the docks for this one. So we're going to ignore the man with the main quest because we don't want to start this one yet. We're not going to do the event quest because we've not even unlocked Undaunted or dungeons or anything yet on this character. Eastern Skyrim is not actually part of the game yet, but I think they've left the area free. So I would say it's this area here that they've left open would be Eastern Skyrim, which I'm guessing at some point they'll do a DLC that goes there. So Skyrim, the whole of Skyrim will be this and Eastern Skyrim, and it may have included Eastmarch and the Rift. So that's why the game might have been massive when we were playing Skyrim, because it does encompass quite a few different areas of the map. So my guess is this area here they've left open at some point to be Eastern Skyrim. Yeah, does make sense, doesn't it? It does look bigger than Western Skyrim as well. So hopefully it'll be quite a nice DLC when we eventually get there. They have left quite a few areas of the map open for things like that, which is really cool. Right, so we're going to go and discover this way shrine. So each time we discover a new area, even if it's just a way shrine, we'll get experience for it as well, which is nice. Lots of lovely experience. There we go. Right, and now we are going to go start the Scrying and Antiquities skill line, which is in this building here, the Antiquarian Circle. Maybe. We know how long Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be. They are nowhere near releasing it as of yet. So, this symbol on the map is for the Antiquarian Circle, and that symbol will also be used when you've scryed for any antiquities and you're going to go hunt them down. Hopefully when I do this quest it explains a bit more what they are and what they're about.
A new antiquarian in the making?
Yes, I am.
So, what brings a sturdy hero like you to the Gwylem Annex? I can't imagine you're looking for a book. Then again, I do see a glimmer of curiosity in your eyes. Perhaps you seek admission to the Antiquarian Circle.
We definitely do.
Gwylem's most prestigious historical society. We scour the continent for lost antiquities, collecting and cataloging as we go. We've made hundreds of discoveries, thanks in no small part to our scrying tool, the Antiquarian's Eye. An invention of our university's founder, Terrain the Fire. It allows the wielder's mind to travel vast distances and find buried relics, truths lost to history. Gazing into the eye requires both skill and talent. How talented are you, I wonder? Admission to the circle begins easily enough. Just place your hand on the Antiquarian's Eye. If you possess the aptitude, you will attune to the eye immediately. If you don't possess the aptitude, the eye will reject you. Couldn't be simpler. It's a magnificent device, alien in origin. As I said before, our university's founder, Terrain Fire, developed it along with countless other scholarly tools. Alas, he died before we could demonstrate the object's true potential. It hones in on objects of historical import, much like a bloodhound, without all the baying and drooling, of course. We still don't fully understand how it determines an item's value. Just more proof of our founder's genius, I suppose. We recovered several from a vault in Elenia. It seems Sage Fire intended for the university's best and brightest to continue his work after he was gone. It took longer than he would have liked, I'm sure. but I fully intend to honor his legacy.
Right, what is the goal of this?
The truth, above all else. Written histories rarely give an honest accounting of the past, so we go straight to the source. Relics, curios, even ancient bric-a-brac. Anything that can teach us more about the myriad cultures of Tamriel.
This is definitely an important question. Are they valuable?
You mean commercially valuable? Yes, you can keep any relics you recover and do with them what you will. The Circle's chief concern is cataloging the discoveries and learning what we can from them. Everyone benefits from the arrangement.
Yes, definitely is.
It's a school, of course. The very best, by any credible assessment. At least it was. But I wouldn't give to walk those halls again. This frigid annex is a very poor substitute. Very poor indeed. For a time, I studied there as well. Despite all of Cyrodiil's struggles, I really did believe we could weather the storm. But war has far-reaching consequences, even for those who want no part in it. Especially for those who want no part in it. Here and elsewhere, the faculty scattered to the winds when the plane meld took hold. Fortunately, most of us survived, and we write each other constantly. I wound up in Scrying somehow. As frozen wastelands go, it's really quite pleasant.
Okay, let's get on with this. So if we come over here, this is the Antiquarian's Eye, so we just examine it. Nice burst of
You
light.
rarely see such an energetic attunement.
I know, because we're very talented.
Seems I underestimated you. With a reaction like that, you may well rival Gabrielle, our most accomplished antiquarian. I wonder what secrets you might find gazing through the eye.
Yeah, let's definitely find out.
We'll teach you to use the eye in due course. First, do you vow to uphold the principles and traditions of the Circle, to catalog your discoveries for future generations, and give a true accounting of Tamriel's history?
Yep.
Excellent decision. Mastering the eye is no small endeavor. But with Gabrielle's tutelage and my rigorous oversight, we may make a true scholar of you yet. Welcome to the Circle, Antiquarian.
Another skill line.
We should begin your education in earnest. I suggest you speak with Gabrielle Benham. I can provide some scholarly advice, but when it comes to using the Antiquarian's eye itself, you'll find no better teacher than Gabrielle. Downstairs, poring over more maps and tomes, no doubt. Honestly, the girl never stops working. I'd almost think she was trying to make the rest of us look bad if she wasn't so confoundedly cheerful. At any rate, she'll get you sorted. Speak with me again once Gabrielle's taught you the basics. I know I can come across as chilly, but truthfully, I'm anxious to get you into the field. Because I'm not a mage. Don't make a face. I never said I possess the aptitude. We all contribute to the Circle in our own way. You may wield the eye, but rest assured, my skill as a writer is no less important. Not just writing, few can match my knowledge of ancient history, aside from those who lived through it all, like that insufferable dark elf Devaith Fear. You may find these relics, but it's incumbent upon me to tell you what they are.
So with the scrying quest line, we also got the excavation quest line, because once we've scryed for an antiquity, we then need to go and find it and dig it up. So those go hand in hand. I don't want to steal, I just want to read this golden shiny page. Again, read all the bookshelves you come across. I think there's a bunch upstairs if I remember. Hopefully we increase something by reading these. Or else I'm gonna look. Oh, there we go. Law book discovered. Oh, another one. Oh, and that increased woodworking. Oh, that was definitely worth it. Oh, and we've gained the skill line woodworking. Oh, we also going downstairs. Got to go and talk to Gabrielle. Let's highlight that quest, shall we? So to change what quest we've got tracked in the top right corner, you just press right on the D-pad and that'll cycle through them. So that's the one we're doing, the Antiquarian's Art. And we're talking to Gabrielle.
Ah, you must be the Antiquarian Circle's most recent addition, eh? Greetings. Sorry for the mess. I'll tidy up down here, eventually. But I digress. Verita wants me to teach you to use the Antiquarian's Eye, yes? Wow, really? That's uncharacteristically gracious of her. Huh. Well, anyway, let's get started. It all begins with concentration. The eye wants to show you what you seek. So, clear your thoughts, and conjure up a picture of the relic in your mind. The exciting part. Gaze into the eye and focus on the facets in the glass. Take a breath and try to unify the symbols into a single pattern. Eventually, you'll stop looking at the lens and start looking through it. Why don't we just give it a try?
Yep, let's give it a try. So we do have an Antiquities Codex, and I will show you that once we've done this quest. Okay, so these are the ones. These two are ones that we can scry for at the moment, because we need to get leads to scry for the rest, and leads are always fun to try and find. But the one it wants us to do is this Gabrielle's Bottle of Proving, which is the one that's just going to train us how to do it, which apparently I've found 7 times. It's for 7 different characters.
And the corners of the lens. Then turn your focus inward toward the facets in the glass. Concentrate, and the facets should merge. Unifying the lens into a single pattern will perfectly attune the eye. But you only need to reach the foci to gain a rough idea of the object's location. Lose your focus. Just try again.
Okay, so what we need to do is reach this point here, and we can only do it by shapes that we're directly connected to. So the first one we're at is right down in the bottom in the middle there. So we need to reach there by using tiles that we're connected to, but if they're tiles of the same shape, then it takes us further. So these are all the same shape that go that way, and these are all the same shape that go that way. So this is going to be the most useful direction for us to go, because that is going up towards that foci. So if we do that, so the problem we have is that we have a limited amount of turns, and the harder the level of the antiquity, the less turns you're going to get, but you do get some skills later on to make it a little bit easier to get to the foci, because there are more depending on the difficulty of the antiquity. So I think this one is going to be the best option, because that takes us one step away from getting to the foci. So if we go for that one, then we can either do that or do that to get us to the foci. So let's do that. There we go, we've claimed it. Yeah, and that's a good point. If you don't claim them all the first time that you do it, don't lose hope, because you can just rescry and try again, and just keep trying until you eventually get them all. So do not worry. Right, so now it's going to show us the area on the map that it's located, which is this tiny area. Normally the area is a bit bigger, so it's a bit easier to see, but it's this area that's outlined in blue with a light blue middle. Normally they are a bit bigger, so they're a bit easy to see. Yeah, I think the best way of understanding it is just by doing it. I don't think my explanation was the best, but we'll do a couple and see if it makes any more sense. But let's go and dig this one up to finish the quest. So on our map marker along the top, you can see that symbol again, and that symbol, the antiquity symbol, leads us to the dig site. So if you follow that, you'll reach the dig site that you've just scryed for, which glows with this yellow glowing going up, and it will be labelled dig site, and you can excavate using A. No, not dig site, dig.
Remember to move cautiously. Use the right tool for the right level of excavation.
Mind out of the gutter.
Even careful digging can
Not sure why. This is a bug where it
mindful of its stability.
literally tells you it twice, like a second after each other. No idea why that's still there. Right, we need to excavate it. So this is a bit just like archaeology, where you've got to get it out the ground without breaking it. I think that's the best way I can describe it. Okay, so we need to find where it is. So we can use LB, the bottom left there, the Antiquarian's Eye, which is the tool we used before. We get 9 shots of trying to find it. So if we highlight an area of the map and press A, that is one of our shots of finding it. So I've been very lucky and found one of the right spots on the first try. So if it's green, that means at least one portion of that antiquity is in that area. If it can also be orange and red, and it'll have different fields around them where it can and can't be. But I will show you that when we start scrying for things that are slightly more difficult than this one. Yes, Bethesda has so many bugs, and there's currently a bug to find a lead to scry something in the new area, and it's the last one I need to make a whole thing, and it's stuck behind an invisible wall, and it's driving me mad because I really want to finish it. I think it's the alchemy station. There's a Telvanni themed alchemy station, and the last lead that I need is stuck behind an invisible wall. And apparently that's the same on the PC servers as well as the Xbox servers. So I don't know what they've done there, but I think they're due to be fixing it very soon, hopefully, so it can bug me less. Anyway, it does suck. It really does. It's driving me mad. Right. So now we press LT, and that gets our brush, which is where we can actually start digging it up. So if we go on this green bit that we've already established some things there, and then we press A, and it starts to dig. So we can see we've unlocked a corner of it there. That should hopefully give us information about where other parts of it might be. So by the looks of it, we're going to have a bit here and a bit here for definite. So we're going to dig here. Yeah, it's going down that way, and we'll dig there. Some of the areas are deeper than others, and that does come into play when we start doing ones that are a bit more difficult and with bigger tools. Right, so we can see this looks like it's going to be a chest. So if we keep digging this way, let's do another line of it. Okay, we found the corner, and that's it dug out. We've successfully unearthed it. So the bar right at the top of the screen, there's a gold bar. That shows you how much time you've got left at the dig site. So we've still got quite a lot of time left, and there's always bonus items that can be found in the patch. So the more time you've got left, the more ability you've got to search them. And every time you do a dig, that brings down your time on the time bar at the top. But as it says, it's not going to identify and locate the bonus loot. So it is just a bit of a guess, really. I tend to go around the antiquity, which sometimes works quite well in trying to find the bonus loot. Depending on the level of the antiquity, depends on how much bonus loot there might be. Normally there can be like 3 different things, but I think for this initial one, there's just 1 item of bonus loot. So let's see whether we can find it. Oh, that's not really helpful in me trying to explain how to do it when I've literally done it the easiest way possible. We will show a lot more scrying and antiquities later on, because I quite enjoy doing them and crafting multi-part items and all the mythic items that you can get in the game, some of which are really, really great for lots of builds. You get by scrying and digging up, so it's definitely something that you should be doing if you want to get some of that end game mythic gear. So definitely I recommend trying to level up in these 2 skill lines and scry as much as possible. And as it says, some of the bonus loot you can get, it can vary. You can get runes, you can get actual items from sets like armor and weapons, motif chapters, which are like style pages. So for armor and weapons of different styles that you can change the look of for your character. And once you've got a motif chapter, you can then create armor and weapons of that style, which is useful to go towards your Grandmaster Crafter goal, which we spoke about last time. And there's lots of useful things. So it is handy when you can find them, but it's not the end of the world if you can't. So this time we've just got some gold, which is not to be sneezed at. Right, let's talk to Gabrielle.
There you have it. You're a proper antiquarian now. Seems you have quite a knack for it too. Just
We
keep
are
that
proper.
the antiquarian's eye and master those digging techniques. I'm confident you'll be recovering priceless relics in no time.
When we do start going into the wild and doing some more leads, there is a really useful tip when you're in the dig site, because the dig sites can be quite big. We can use the tool to help sort of pinpoint the dig site, but we'll do that on another stream sort of further down the line, and I'll show you that useful tool. Yes, it is the only way to obtain some of those mythic gears. They tend to be 5-part items, so there's 5 different leads you need to find, and then you need to scry for all of those, and then you need to dig up all of those, and that's the only way to get that specific gear. So yes, you will need to be scrying and excavating to be able to get that mythic gear. Some of the gear you may or may not want, but some of the gear is quite useful for a lot of the builds. Like I'm using one of those pieces, one of the mythic pieces on my main character build at the moment. Yeah, so I highly recommend doing it. No, you can't sell it or buy it, because once it's been crafted and you've done all the 5 pieces, it binds to you and your account. So literally there's no other way of getting it, unfortunately. But it's not like it's behind a skill wall, really, as long as you can get the knack of this. And it's not behind like a DPS wall. So as long as you can get the hang of this, which I'm going to help you guys do, then you'll be able to get those. It is really good. That's why I thought it would be really handy to show you how to start the quest line.
I'd report back to Verida and let her know you successfully extracted your first antiquity. Don't expect too much in the way of praise, but trust me, she'll be ecstatic. Once you've checked in, start looking for relics. No time like the present, eh?
Right, we're not going to ask her to go over it again because I know what I'm doing, but I will obviously show you guys a lot more about scrying and digging things up in another stream, so don't worry about that. Right, let's go back up, talk to Verita, the initial lady we spoke to, and then we can finish this quest off.
Welcome back, Antiquarian. I trust your time with Gabrielle was illuminating.
It was.
I had a good feeling about you, and as usual, I was right. From now on, consider yourself free to pursue any antiquities that interest you. We will catalog your findings for study, and together we will uncover the mysteries of this world.
Oh, how exciting. Lots of mysteries.
To do, Antiquarian. Wouldn't you agree? We're all quite busy, truth be told, but I suppose I can make more time for our most promising initiates. Is there something I can help you with? That is entirely up to you. What cultures spark your curiosity? What region of Tamriel do you yearn to visit? Or, if it's simple wealth you're after, what item might fetch a prize on the second-hand market? The choice is yours. Well, your Antiquities Codex contains only those antiquities we're currently aware of. If you want to make a unique discovery of your own, you'll need to find a lead. Something that gives you a place to start.
Now this is helpful. Where can we find the leads?
Anywhere, believe it or not. Tucked away in chests, in the pockets of bandits, stashed in musty ruins. Just explore Tamriel as any adventurer would, and you're bound to find some. The potential applications of our discoveries are endless. You might find items worthy of display in your home, or discover a long-forgotten technique for body ornamentation. You might even recover jewelry or armor imbued with arcane power. Oh, I couldn't possibly choose. In any case, my interest in these objects has less to do with their uses and more to do with their historical value. Amallian swore she found parts of a mechanical mount, but that sounds a bit outlandish to me.
It's not outlandish, that is one of the things you can get. So, because I'm a bit of a sad Excel obsessive, I actually have a spreadsheet of all the antiquities and where all the leads are. So I might see if there's a way, if anyone wants it, that I can share that, because there's no point anyone replicating something. It might be really handy. I'm not sure Twitch gives us that functionality, but I will see whether there's a way I can do it if anyone wants it. Okay, so that is the Scrying questline. So where are we with leveling up? Can't tell. Are we close? Because I think level 5 might be where we can start doing the crafting. So we might need to go and kill some monsters. Oh, right. So you always get these leaderboard notifications when you're a new character, and I really want to turn them off because I don't really need to know. So if we're going to go into the options, is it in social? There we go. Yes, if you go into options and social, leaderboard notifications, it says it only shows guild members and friends, but it seems to be showing, it might be showing guild members from from a guild that I'm in, but I'm going to turn them off because I do not want those notifications. Fabulous. Right, if we go back to Necrom and then we go out and probably carry on that main quest that we're doing and then kill some things, and then hopefully we can start the crafting. Because I did promise that, so I'm very sorry we've not got to it. I thought you could just do it at any level, but apparently I was wrong. At least we've managed to do the others. So let's go to the middle of Necrom. Right, we've got the right quest highlighted. Meet Laramil the Wise in Necrom. So now we need to find her. So if we head this way, it's that white symbol I've got in the middle there. That's where she will be. Oh, I have found it. Oh, that's another one of those purple books. We're doing well here. Lots of lovely Mage's Guild experience. These are the gateways into Apocrypha, the other area of this DLC. Go to another plane. We will get to do that very soon.
Welcome to my safe
Right.
house, Proxy.
Yeah, it looks nice and safe.
Meeting Hermaeus Mora represents a rare honor. The one who knows materializes in a delimited projection. He chooses to manifest before few mortals. The threads upon which reality dangles are precarious indeed. What did Mora impart to you? And so I shall. The one who knows traced 3 crucial events to this area. Investigate each, and he believes we can expose the conspirators moving against Apocrypha. We may even stop them before the ultimate threat takes shape. I do not know. I was only presented with what was required to bring you to the right place at the right moment. You must determine why fate needs you in each location, then take the appropriate action. Many possible futures branch from every mortal choice. If we know the consequences of our choices, it changes the outcome. Therefore, Hermaeus Mora tells us only what he must. As fate's chosen, the rest is up to you. The threads of fate lead to 3 locations in this region. The necropolis of Necrom, the old tower of Telrendis, and the town of Alavelis. I shall open a portal to each, investigate them, and return here to the Necrom bindery when you are done.
Okay.
A reasonable and prudent request. I shall provide what details I can, but I know little more than you do. Local history and politics are not my usual area of study. Which location would you like to know more about? Telrendis is one of the many mushroom towers that dot this land. They usually serve as domiciles of Telvanni wizards who wield formidable magic.
Oh, there are wizards. I was wrong.
The tower is abandoned. Interesting. Fate dictates that when you go there, I shall accompany you. Necrom serves as a center for the ancient Dunmer practice of ancestor worship. A strange custom. The monks of the necropolis, called the Keepers of the Dead, tend the catacombs beneath the city. They guide the faithful in venerating their forebears.
So just some nomenclature that might help you. The high elves, the wood elves, and the dark elves all have another name. So it says here about the Dunmer. That's another name for the dark elves. The high elves are Altmer, and I am Struggling to remember the Wood Elf one. I can't remember it. I'm sure it'll come to me, but that's what Dunmer means. It's the Dark Elves. Obviously, Mer is elf in this situation because Ultima is the High Elves. It's going to really bug me. If it comes to me, I'll let you know. Okay, last one. Alavalis.
Whose only claim to fame is its malachite quarry, a glass mine, as the Dunmer refer to it. That thread of fate vibrates with particular intensity. What you shall find there, I cannot say, but I urge caution, Proxy. An old bookbinder's shop, our temporary base of operations in this region. I secured it so we could travel to and from Apocrypha without causing undue panic. I doubt Necron's authorities would approve of portals to an Oblivion realm in their city. In addition to the 3 to take you to the locations you must investigate, I summoned 2 gateways to Apocrypha. One leads to the Endless Library, a place of books as numberless as the stars. The other to Chroma Incognito, where lost fates linger. Only if you desire to do so. The threads of fate Hermaeus Mora asks you to investigate begin here in the Telvanni Peninsula. Where they shall lead us, I cannot say. But with the threat directed at Apocrypha, I thought quick access was prudent. Your choice must be your own, Proxy. Hermaeus Mora was clear about that. There. 3 paths are now arrayed before you. Which will you pick?
Gonna go for the middle one.
Mortal, why do you bear the mark of the Great Eye? Mortals, you scurry around, obsessed with your petty affairs, and then you die. But you bear the mark of Hermaeus Mora. Have you come to replace me in my task? That would be typical. Wait. Were you sent to help me with the cultists? Before you die? Not much to tell. I just arrived myself. This mortal served the Great Eye, but he died before he could tell me about the other Daedric cultists that scamper about. They're creating an intolerable contradiction in reality. Makes my tentacles ache. Something here undermines a fate recorded by Hermaeus Mora. Likely foolish mortals trying to change what has already been written. To fix this, I could use some help. It's common knowledge that mortals prize gold. 8 men, I'll give you some. I'd prefer to sit back and wait for entropy to claim us all. But I suppose we must do something. Let's survey the town. See if anyone survived and try to determine what the cultists want here. Oh, and despite my size, I'm good in a fight. You'll see. As I said, divergences in the threads of fate call to me. My purpose is to correct those digressions, examine the contradictions, and rectify them. I can't leave until I succeed. Don't ask me why, there is no why. It simply is. I am Scroot, a powerful servant of the Great Eye. Creatures of my Daedric order call ourselves... doesn't matter. Everyone else calls us watchlings. An insulting diminutive. But I expect nothing more. Oh, do you mock me? I detect a note of mockery. I should reduce your brain to rotten cheese for your temerity. Yeah, but what's the point? What's the point of anything, really? Just know that I can summon a mighty strike when fate requires it. Very mighty. Yes, but it's usually easy enough to nudge a mortal follower of Hermaeus Mora to summon me when the ripples of fate draw me here. Not my fault the fragile mortal got himself killed. Well, maybe it is. Who can say? Fate works in mysterious ways. Alavalis? Or this tedious mortal plane? No, don't tell me. My answer's the same in either case. It's a dust mote, populated by delusional insects whose meaningless lives seem important to them. I can't bring myself to care. I have no clue. When my master exerts his power in this plane, the consequences linger. Footprints in the malleable clay of fate that harden to stone with the passing ages. I sense that events here run counter to something my master did long ago. Something special about a mortal settlement? Hardly. Olivelis fails to stand out from the sheer mediocrity of 1,000 similar places in this world. Until the followers of a Daedric prince seized control of it anyway. Which may be something. You mean besides the dead devotee of Hermaeus Mora? They call themselves the Hidden Kindred. Since I could see them, the nomenclature must be ironic. I also noticed some Daedra, Dremora of Clan Dreamcarver, sworn to serve Prince Vermina. A rhetorical question? Must be. Very well. Vermina is the Daedric Prince of Dreams and Nightmares. I also noticed Periite followers among the Hidden Kindred. Before you ask, he's the Prince of Pestilence. Never heard of such an alliance before. The mortal who summoned me complained of terrible nightmares before he died. Beyond that, I was just about to begin my long and grueling investigation when you arrived. If only you had more tentacles. It would make the work go faster.
Tentacles. Right. Let's get to searching. Oh, there's a way shrine over there. I'm just gonna veer off and go and unlock that. Oh, found a runestone. Let's collect that. It was a lot of rambling, I know. Should probably skip through it a bit quicker in the future. Lots of runestones. Whenever you see materials out in the world, if you're going to go down the crafting route, collect them. Don't know how I've managed to find 3 in a row there. Right, let's kill some stuff, try level up. I'm just trying to remember what these skills do. Oh, that's my beam. Ooh, we have made level 5. Right, continue to put them in stamina. Skills advisor. Can't unlock these yet because I'm not high enough in two-handed. Probably because I don't have a two-handed weapon equipped. I need to find one. But we can do Windwalker. And we can morph one of our skills that we're already using. So, new effect can increase critical chance, or the advised skill deals increased damage, and the last rune deals an AoE. Right, let's do the advised one. Let's open that item set that it's given us. Oh, I've got a recipe that I don't know. Let's learn that. Oh, I've not been opening these containers and to get to it. Right, some rings there. Oh, lots of trash. Oh, we've not read that, so let's read it and edit. Oh, we do have a two-handed weapon. Let's equip that then if we're meant to be using a two-handed. Right, go down to the rings. They're the ones we've just unlocked. So if we equip both, then we gain a maximum health increase. There we go. Right, we can look up the skill lines that we've unlocked. Excavation and scrying. Mage's Guild, Mage's Guild. Book skills. Increases your experience gain with the heavy armor skill line. There's rattling. I'm not rattling. Must be some interference going on. Is it really bad? Oh no. Is it just when I talk or is it all the time? All the time. Right. It might be best for us to leave it there then, because I'm not really sure how I'm going to fix that. So what we're going to do is I will do a stream tomorrow where I just finish off this section and we start the crafting writs, because I do want to get that done. So sorry we didn't get to it this time, and sorry for the interference. I will have a look on my end to see if I can work out what's going on, but I'm going to leave it there for today just because I don't know how to stop this problem. And again, I am only going to go on this character when I'm streaming, so you're not going to miss anything. So no need to thank me. Glad you found it good. So, right, we're going to leave it there. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you found it helpful. And I will talk to you tomorrow about the crafting. Good night.